also have Major Muhammad Ali Shah joining us on the broadcast. He's a defense expert. He's going to be able to tell us what transpires when operations like this go haywire. Thank you so much, Major Shah, for joining us on the broadcast. You know, it is indeed extremely tragic what has happened. One Jawan killed, 13 civilians that have been killed, according to preliminary reports, of course. So when operations like this take place, you know, what is it that needs to be kept in mind, especially in areas that are civilian areas, and what kind of a lapse could have led to something like this?
You know, it is firstly, I convey my heartfelt condolence straight from my heart to all the bereaved families. It was very, very unfortunate, a sad incident which should not have happened. And whenever no one is happy in killing anyone, no one's happy in bloodshed, no one wants violence. And whenever an incident like this occurs, it is deeply painful. And trust you me, I have served 2 tenures in Nagaland. I was promoted from a lieutenant to a captain and a captain to a major in Nagaland itself. And I speak the local language, the way I would speak English or Hindi or Urdu for that matter. So we certainly feel a lot for the people from Northeast. Now, what can happen when things go wrong? You know, there is a drill, a challenge drill in the army, which is called the identification of friend and foe.
Okay.
Which means the moment a sentry on any post, he can challenge even the officer who is his superior, even his commanding officer or a general coming for that matter. He says, "Thump, kaun aata hai?" Which means halt. Who comes here? And the person has to stop there immediately and say, "Dost, dost. Agar dost hai to pehchan ke liye aage badh." You move forward to identify yourself, and you come forward. You take 2 steps ahead. He says, "Haath upar, muthi kholi." That means you raise your hands, and then you say, "Aaj ki pehchan, aaj ka password," and you give the password. So password is normally not interlinked, like it can't be din or raat. It has to be very different. Din, ghoda, or if you say raat, it can be pani. It has to be totally unmatched. So now the moment you give the password, okay, aao dost, sab theek, and then you give the, if the officer, the superior, if he does not stop, then the sentry is at, I'm not talking about Special Forces Power Act at all. It has nothing to do with AFPA. Now, even in peace stations, even in Delhi or in Allahabad, and if the officer does not identify himself, the sentry is liable to fire a bullet. Okay. I'm not at all justifying what has happened. It is very, very unfortunate, very, very sad, and I deeply condole the families who have been
no, Major Shah, we must understand what went wrong, because till we don't understand what went wrong, we're not going to be able to have a civil conversation about this, to be able to prevent incidents like this from taking place, because it is indeed extremely tragic what has taken place. I mean, 13 civilians, 1 Jawan lost their life in something that was a mistake. So, of course, something needs to be reflected. Go on, Major Shah, you were telling us what exactly it is that takes place. Please carry on.
So now, when the sentry is liable to fire at his own officer, if his own officer does not stop for a identification, pehchan, it's called identification of friend and foe. Now, similarly, if I don't know exactly what exactly happened, because the official statement from the army, from the Assam Rifles, is limited. So we do not have a very, very clear picture about what the incidents on ground actually took place and what happened. I can tell you in general when an incident like this takes place. Now, when such a thing, say I'm giving an example, I'm not correlating it with this incident. Supposing I'm in an ambush and I try to halt a vehicle and the vehicle does not stop. Then what do? I can pass to my next post, that Charlie for Alpha post, over, there's a vehicle passing by with so-and-so number, so-and-so. Please stop it and search it. It's suspicious. Now, if it doesn't stop at that post also and goes further, now it raises further suspicion. And now when it doesn't stop, you will fire first at the tires of that vehicle. And then still, if there is any suspicious activity, say if the people inside the vehicle, I'm giving an example, I'm not correlating at all with what has happened, are hunters with personal weapons, licensed weapons, and then, of course, it is alarm bells ring for the security forces, and they will open fire there again. So that is, I presume, that is one of the things which could have happened over here, which is very, very sad, because I believe the people who were killed, they were innocent civilians, and they were just daily wage earners, or they were they were coal mine workers, as the media has been reporting, if that was to be believed. So it is really very, very sad. And now, when an incident happens and when people mob around you and they come to attack you, for example, if a person over there would be having, not in this incident, in any other incident, would be having a weapon. It need not be a firearm, it could be a kukri, it could be a da, it could be a sword. Now, when he comes to actually harm you and you open fire in self-defense, I mean, that is, a weapon is given for self-defense at the end of the day. So now my appeal over here to all the locals over there is, please maintain peace, because two wrongs do not make a right. They make a further wrong.
All right, Major Shah, point well noted. You know, of course, the appeal can be to locals, but they're indeed bereaved. You know, they've lost 13 people due to a mistake. So, of course, what is happening in Nagaland is that multiple protests have erupted, and of course, there was an attack that took place on an army camp as well. But you know, Major Shah, let's just try and understand what exactly it was that happened. So there was intel, from what we understand, that the forces had, in which they were expecting some militant convoy to in fact pass. In a situation like that, you know, when there is confirmed intel, do the forces act, you know, without thinking twice that this could be a civilian, this could be a civilian van, or, you know, when inputs are so strong, there's no option but to, you know, act in a certain manner?
Exactly in the year 2003, when we had got confirmed inputs of militants hiding in a hut in a particular village. Now, we did not really go foolhardy and act with Josh. We acted with a lot of hosh. At that time, we were not sure. We have got intelligence, yes. Very confirmed, credible inputs, yes. But now, they were to be believed because their credibility was there. Now, we cannot go and bank on their credibility just because this so-and-so source has been giving us reliable and confirmed inputs. So this time also, he would be correct. We have to look at every activity very suspiciously, including the information of our source. So we do not really go and just bombard based on information. So what we did was, we confirmed with night vision binoculars. We surveyed that area the entire night, and we were in neck-deep water in a pond, sitting in the chill winter, in the cold, in snow. But then, only when we actually believed from our own eyes, only then the first bullet was fired. And normally the orders for a fire by an officer is given when the officer opened fire. When the officer opens fire, everything goes helter-skelter. Or in a situation like this, supposing when the soldiers, if one person also gets trigger happy and the first bullet is fired, and thereafter it's hell to pay. It's a mayhem thereafter. It comes from both sides. It is a really tragic scene thereafter. So when you get an intel, which need not be correct all the time, it can also be an intel. I'm correlating not this incident, I'm just giving you an example about tactfully what can happen. Supposing I and a source have a personal enmity with a particular tribe or a particular sect or a particular family for that matter, the person can come and sneak and say there is intelligence that so and so. So the armed forces, also the security forces, have to act responsibly, which they have been doing all this while. And there's one operation which has gone wrong, and I really, it is very sad. I really deeply condone it, and it is really sad. There's no doubt about it. Yeah.
Okay, so all right. So Major Shah, one last question, because we're running out of time and I'm going to have to interrupt you there, sorry. What happens from this point forward? You know, if it is understood that whatever took place was indeed the fault of the forces that opened fire, which resulted in the demise of 13 civilians, then do the forces that were there, that were present at the spot, do they get suspended? You know, are they you know, asked to, of course, leave the army, the forces? What happens from this point forward?
Police, which comes under the state government or the Home Ministry, there is no suspension in the armed forces. In the army, there is nothing known as, oh, you're suspended from service. Yes, like right now, there is a high-level court of inquiry. SIT has been ordered. The CM has spoken about it. The Home Minister, the Deputy CM of Nagaland has spoken about it. So now definitely a situation, an inquiry has been ordered, and we really do not know exactly what the facts on ground were, what the situation was, what led to such an incident, which should not have happened, which should not have happened, which should have been avoided at any cost by all means. Now, if proved guilty for that matter, action is taken, then the officer in charge can also lead to a court-martial, which means you are dismissed from service for a court-martial. Now, if in the inquiry, if the facts are found that no, it is attributable to military service, which means it was legitimate, then yes, it is the officer or the team can be pardoned off. Now, in both the situations, but when a high-level probe like this is ordered, the probe who is probing is also under pressure, and so are the officers and the soldiers on whom the inquiry has been ordered upon.
Okay.
So one has to yes.
Okay, all right. So, if at all found guilty, and this is not to draw any conclusions before, of course, the SIT submits its report, but if found guilty, then a court-martial is likely on the cards. All right. Thank you so much, Major Mohammad Ali Shah, for joining us on the broadcast.